Welcome to Mr. Giant Reacts and Ting and Ting and Ting. I'm Mr. Giant, back with another video for you, back with another reaction. And this one is talking about the cost of living in Romania. I did a video about that like 2 or 3 years ago. Things have changed a little bit, so we're going to check this out. Also, keep in mind that this is I do believe she's an expat, somebody who is living in Romania but not from Romania. So the cost of living idea is going to be different because she's going to be comparing it from where she's from. Let's go ahead and see what the vibe is here with this. This is going to be interesting.
Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. My name is Noah and I'm a Cuban living in Romania. And in this video, I want to discuss with you the price of living in Romania. I'm going to be breaking down with you my monthly fixed expenses. If you're interested in moving to Romania, if you just want to visit, if you live here and you want to check on someone else's perspective, or even if you're just curious about how expensive it is to live in Romania, then this is your video. If you like this kind of content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because it's gonna help me so much. So before we start, I want to give you a little bit of context on where exactly I live because the expenses you have vary a lot depending on the place that you live.
Yeah.
So in my case, I live in Ilfov County. Ilfov County is right outside of Bucharest, not exactly on Bucharest. So the prices may be different in Bucharest, may be different in Cluj, maybe different in Timișoara, maybe different in different cities. You're gonna have to excuse my voice. I am coming out of a cold and you can still tell. So please bear with me. I am basically surviving. So what I'm about to show you is the fixed expenses that I have every month. This can still vary a little bit because of the bills. Usually I pay around the same each month, but the bills will vary a lot depending on how much water I spend or maybe how much electricity I spend or if I use the heating. All of these things are some things to have in mind that every month it may not be exactly the same. So for starters, my biggest expense of the month is always the rent. The rent here, it is 2,050 lei, which would be around 400 lei each month. This is right now, I think, one of the cheapest price on rent that you will find. In my case, I have been looking a lot, even lately, because I like to search apartments all the time because I do work in Bucharest, so I will have to be near Bucharest at least. And in this case, I've seen lately the prices of housing have increased so much. What you could find a year ago in 300 euros, 350, now you can find in 450 or 470, and I'm like, oh my god, that is actually a lot of money for housing comparing to the salaries here. That is a lot. Anyway, that's what we pay. We found,
see, that's what people fail to realize. And even within a big country like where I live, rent is relatively less than other places. Like a lot of people want to move and they want to move to like Florida or they want to move to LA, but they're not taking into consideration that the cost of living there is going to be higher. Like she said, in certain parts of Romania, the rent is going to be different. It's not all the same, you know. So I like the fact that she said this is pertaining to where I live right now, you know. And she's talking about rent going up. It's going up all over the world like crazy, you know. Even on the island back home, they're saying that the rent is so high locals wouldn't be able to 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 afford the rent. With expats coming in and other people coming in, for some reason the rent is going up because they're coming in, and I think it's because the expats are not coming. They catering for expats who come from richer countries to those countries, not just your normal immigrant coming across the place, you know what I mean? These are people who actually have a little bit of money to play with, so they come with more money. Rent is going to go up because everybody's going to see okay, an expat and it's not a mindset that's set in stone. They're like a long-term tourist. That's how they see them. You know what I mean? Even though some of them stay and they stay forever and generations, but that's why rent is going up. You know what I mean? The next group of expats to come in, the rent is going to go up, and it's just going to keep skyrocketing like that because everybody's trying to make a quick buck off of them.
a nice apartment. We've been here for I think a year and a half already, and it's getting very difficult to find something in a nice price. So yeah, that is the biggest expense that I have every month. The next fixed expenses that I have every month are actually the ones that can vary a little bit, because it is the bills. And the bills, we have three categories: electricity, gas, and the building fee, which includes the water. In this case, the building fee is, I think, the most expensive of the three of them, because it also includes like the building maintenance and stuff like that. So we live two people here, me and my husband, and we usually pay around 280. Maybe some month it can be around 300 lei, which I think is a little bit expensive. But anyway, usually what I put aside is around 500 lei, but comparing to last month, exactly what I spent was 539. And I'm going to say exactly. For the building fee last month in February, we spent 289 with 71 ban. This already, as I said before, includes the water and the building maintenance and stuff like that. For electricity this month, we had 107 with 70 ban. And I think is a little bit more than what we usually spend on electricity on the winter time, but it was not that much, I guess. And for gas, we spent 132 lei with 83 ban. This is exactly what we paid in February. For food, I always like to put aside 1,500 lei, which would be around 300 euros, because we like to cook a lot at home, and some months would be less than 1,500 lei, and some other months would be even a little bit more, and we have to.
Okay, she's talking about cooking at home. So, to my Romanian people and stuff like that, do you find it cheaper to buy the ingredients and cook at home, or to go to the grocery store? Now, I look at Serbia and Bosnia and stuff, and in Serbia, it says that the grocery store prices are much higher than the local market prices. So, keeping that in mind, if you go shop at the local markets and you get it cheaper, is it cheaper to cook your own meal at home or eat out? I find it cheaper to cook my own meal, because at least you could buy the ingredients, still try to keep it healthy because you know what you're putting in it, and also it's just cheaper to cook your own stuff. Of course, then it raises your electricity. If you're using an electric stove or gas stove, you have to pay extra there. So I guess it's sort of balanced out. But the advantage is you know what you're cooking, you know what you're eating, you know what you're putting in your body, because you're buying the raw ingredients to make it. But is it cheaper? Comment in the comment section, you know what I mean? And where do you buy most of your stuff? Do you go to the local markets that they have set up there in Bucharest, if there's any? Let me know. Or do you go to the grocery store? And in Romania, which is more expensive, the grocery store, going to the grocery store, or any other place? Because I noticed that in other countries, it seems like if you go to the grocery store, stuff is really expensive. But yeah, let me know in the comment section.
Put a little bit more money for food. But anyways, I think it is quite fair, because we're two people and we cook a lot at home anytime, and we're always trying to find like the cheapest place to buy, because I think the prices have increased a lot lately. And I remember like 2 years ago, with 100 lei you could buy so much stuff, you could fill an entire cart, and today you can buy absolutely nothing. Like if you saw my previous video, you saw that with 100 lei I bought like 4 items. But of course, maybe that depends a lot on the place that you use to buy your things. If you go and buy in Lidl, which is where I like to go buy, I think whatever budget you have for food is going to last a lot more than if you buy in places like Ocean or Mega Image is really expensive too. But anyways, my experience, I buy in Lidl, and whenever I go, I can buy a lot of things for 200 lei a week or something like that. And I think that is
Lidl a grocery store? Let me know in the comment section. I'm not sure what that is.
Mostly fair for the amount of things that we buy, which are not a lot, but you get what I mean. Anyway, that was for food. So for internet, I always put aside 140 lei. There's two categories, Wi-Fi and the phones. And for the Wi-Fi, I have my Wi-Fi with DG. So I spend every month 40 lei with 67 ban. When it comes to the phones, it's a little bit more expensive. It's around 100 lei, 103. I think it varies month to month because I don't pay like a flat fee every month. I pay 100, 100 and something. I'm not sure if this is okay or if this is too expensive. I used to have my phone's internet with DG also, but I changed it to Vodafone because I wanted to maybe get a new iPhone because DG didn't have the new iPhones or older iPhones that I wanted. I didn't remember exactly the thing. In the end, I did get the phone, but I didn't get it with the Vodafone company. So basically, I changed there for nothing. And I do believe that DG has a lot better internet than Vodafone. Because I remember when we first switched companies, I would be in the metro and I would have no connection, while with DG we did have connection and stuff like that. I think DG is faster than Vodafone, whatever. I mean, I don't have any issues working with DG at home. I think I have the 1000 fiber link. I'm not sure how it's that. I have no issues.
Isn't it funny how yeah, she live all the way over there in Bucharest, and she's talking about stuff that affects us the same way in all over the world. And that's the thing, you know, we are so engrossed in our own thing that we're thinking that probably we don't think in the bigger picture of like, you know what, these problems that I'm having right here, somebody in South America is having the same problems. And the mass majority of people are having the exact same problems. High rent, internet, because you know these days you know cell phones, you can't have anything without having a cell phone. Like they have these two-party authentication thing, and it's always back to a cell phone. You know, we have become so dependent on modern technology, it's not even funny. Like you cannot have anything unless you have a cell phone. You could still get your mail and stuff, your bills through your mail and stuff, but that would take so long, you're going to get cut off. It's amazing. Everything is on the internet, though. So the internet is more of a necessity than it is a luxury because almost everything is on there. You know, your banking stuff, your phone stuff. Everything is on there. It's crazy. We absolutely depend on that. So you absolutely need that stuff.
When I work from home, even my internet is faster when I work from home than when I go to the office, which is a lot to say, I guess. Anyway, I think for the Wi-Fi, I'm paying very well. And for the phones, maybe I think it could be less than that because I think DG has cheaper prices and I want to go back again. I want to go back again to DG because it's not that I'm having a bad time with Vodafone right now, but I think it is a lot better with DG, my opinion. So the next fixed expense that I have every month is Netflix, which is the only platform that I'm currently paying for. This would be around 56 lei each month. I also have Disney Plus, but this one is included in my Vodafone plan until December of this year. So lucky for me, I'm not paying for that right now. I'm only paying for Netflix. I think this is something that I pay every month because this is the platform that I use the most. The next thing that I'm paying for.
See, listen, I watch no TV stations, like none. I don't watch any of them. I don't have Netflix. I don't have Prime. We have Prime here. I don't have none of that stuff. Listen, man, the reason why I don't have those things is because with movies anymore, I could tell where the plot is going. It's all the same thing. It's all this. There's very little twist to anything. It's all the same plot. If it's action, it's a guy whose family's gotten busted up and he's going back and stuff. So I'm not paying for none of that stuff. I'm just not paying for any of it. You know what I mean? So I don't think I've ever had Netflix, not once. I don't know if it was wrong when I was married. I was married in the 90s. No, because in the 90s we had Blockbuster where you go rent those VHS and then it became go rent those CDs. So no, we didn't have Netflix then. And I don't need Netflix. I don't need Disney. I don't need none of that stuff, man. You know? Plus, that stuff is probably way expensive if I'm living on the island. I'm not going to watch it that much. It would be a waste of money to have it. So, that's one expense that's gone right out for
for
me.
every month is Revolut subscription, because I do have like a metal card, I believe. I'm not sure if that's the one. So I'm using the subscription because I needed a VPN, and the VPN that I was like wanting to use was very expensive, and paying the metal subscription with Revolut already includes this. So yeah, I'm very happy with my Revolut subscription, even though it's an extra charge each month. It is okay because I am actually using it a lot. So the last fixed expense that I have every month when it comes to my stuff specifically is Apple Music, because I listen to music a lot. I'm always listening to music and I cannot live without it. CapCut, which is the app that I use to edit these videos. I could use the free version, totally, I could use the free version, but in this case, I like to use some of the pro features that come with the subscription that I pay. So that's why I prefer to pay for
Yeah,
it.
I
It is
have
not a
CapCut
lot, it's
too.
like 39 lei or something each month. So I just prefer to pay for it. The next one is storage. I have 2 terabytes of storage in iCloud, and to be honest, I'm nowhere near close like fulfilling the 2 terabytes storage. And whenever I'm recording a video, I will be like deleting the older videos so that I can, not run out of space, because that's one of my biggest fears when it comes to tech things, is to run out of storage on my phone. And so I am always trying to prevent these things to happen, and I am always like recording the videos, airdropping it to my Mac, and after that I will just delete them, and I will edit them on my Mac, and I will also delete them from there. I'm nowhere near to finishing the storage that I have ready, but I just am a little bit control freak. And the last thing that I do spend money on at each month, it started actually in December, and it is this platform for copyright free music. And not precisely copyright free, but like if I have a subscription with them, I will get kind of like the rights to use their music on my videos, and that's what I've been using lately. I know that for now this is something that maybe I shouldn't be spending money on, because I'm not earning anything out of these videos, only the satisfaction of you watching them and the fulfillment that I get whenever I make them. But the thing is, I'm very specific when it comes to music, and I like to find the music for my videos that actually represents myself. I don't know, I would not like to use some music that I feel it is not me, that doesn't give the right energy in the right moments or something like that. I don't know if it makes sense or if it's just in my head. But anyway, I do spend on this because I really care about this and about trying to do my best every time. And yeah, those are my fixed expenses every single month. If you can see here, last month my fixed expenses were 4,444 lei exactly. And this is something that I think could be a little bit expensive, but as I said, cost of life has increased a lot and nothing is as cheap as it was. And maybe of course I can find some other options, and maybe I can save a little bit more on some other things. But don't forget, we're 2 people living here. I'm not just spending all of this money myself. I'm spending it on me, on my husband, on my cats, because of course their stuff are also very important to buy and very expensive too. So I didn't mention exactly the things that I buy for my cats every month, because this is already included on my food expenses. Anyway, if you like this kind of content, please let me know how much are you.
Okay, that was quite interesting. So check this out. Uh, that was a nice little breakdown of everything there. Now, everybody's situations could be different. So if yours is different, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what the vibe is as far as cost of living is concerned there. Everything is going up all over the world. And here's the thing, around the world, people keep voting people in thinking they're going to bring the prices down. They're not going to bring the prices down. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? When there's a crisis and the prices go up, they stay up. They don't bring them down. Everybody think, if I elect this person, prices are going to go down. It's not going to go down. It's good. It's going to keep going up. You see, before they could bring it up for no reason and stuff like that. Now they have to manufacture things in order to bring the prices up. And once the prices go up, it just stays up, because by the time the crisis is over, we used to the prices that are there already. But you're not used to it, but you have no choice to be used to it. You understand what I'm saying? And it's crazy how, everybody's just, prices are going up, prices are going up. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay for everything anymore. Sooner or later, we're going to have to pay to breathe. You have to pay. Water is not something we should have to pay for like that. We shouldn't have to pay all this amount of money for water because they have to fix the water so that we could drink it because they're the ones polluting it in the first place. And people are going to say, well, shoot, we survived before without all these chemicals we put in the water to make it drinkable. All of a sudden, we have to do all of that. And how come our ancestors survived without doing that? Because we pollute it, then we have to fix it, and then people go, oh, since we have to fix it, I could make some money doing it. You understand what I mean? But here's the thing about what she's talking about there sounds similar to the island and similar to everywhere else. Of course, you have to take into consideration climate too. Like if I'm living on the island, I don't have to worry about cold, so I'm not going to need heat. I don't have to worry about hot and cold water to use that because it's kind of hot down there. So cold showers, that's going to be good, except for early in the morning. Yeah, I used to take showers first thing in the morning, boy, And the best way to do it is to like scream and jump right onto the shower. Now, a lot of the times too, we didn't take our showers in our bathroom because when I was a kid, we only got water for 1 hour during the day. We had this big tank in the backyard that we used to fill up so we have water all the day through. You understand what I'm saying? But so what we used to do is we used to also have a drum where the drainage comes. So when it rains, it calculates water. So we used to go outside and dip and take showers and take what we call take a bathe like that. And that was pretty fun, taking it outside and the nice breeze is going by. It keeps you cool. Sometimes though, if you take a shower in midday there, it's burning up. So that's an expense to a certain degree, but not a big expense. It's probably different now. They probably get water 24/7 there. You probably have to pay an arm and a leg for it. You understand what I'm saying? But I know some people still they gather rainwater and they use it. You go out to the outskirts of the city and stuff like that. People still live like that. You understand what I'm saying? So they're self-sufficient. Rent is getting expensive there. Still a lot cheaper than big places though, because you could get depending on which part of the island you go, you could get a 4-bedroom house for $1,500 US, which is pretty good. That's a 4-bedroom house. That's an apartment in New York City, and a studio for that matter in New York City, where all you have is just one room and a hot plate and a bed and a couch somewhere. You know what I mean? Like it's big bucks for So there's a lot of people moving there that's not from there or partially living there where they rent for 6 months and stuff. So the rent is skyrocketing. Or, the good thing is that a lot of it is local food store. There's on Saturdays it's called a market there, and everybody goes to the market and you buy your vegetable and your fresh meat and your fresh milk and everything, and it's all local. That's how I'm going to be shopping there. Strictly local, because it's grass-fed cows, chickens running around in the yard. They're all healthy and stuff like that. And I don't eat beef and stuff. I'm just thinking about the milk part of it. I don't dislike beef. I just don't eat it as much as most people do. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've had beef in over 2 years. 2 years, and the last time I had it, I ate it, and my stomach didn't like it at all. But I didn't buy it and cook it myself. That was the problem there. But so cost of living is going up everywhere else. Now, like I was saying, I don't have to worry about winter, and even with it being hot and I'm having to use air conditioner, there are some days it's so nice on the island you don't even need that. So you could regulate that. Like she's talking about regulating, how she uses her stuff and to not have big bills. And it's just crazy how when you watch videos like this, you realize how much alike we are in our daily life. and how we struggle to make ends meet, and how we struggle to keep food on the table. It's everywhere. It's not just here. It's not just on the island. It's not just Africa. It's everywhere. People are out there just in a struggle to survive. You know what I'm saying? And some people are lucky they have help and stuff like that, but others, man, they just aren't. The sooner we realize that we're not that different, I think the sooner certain things are going to get fixed. Because right now we like, oh, I'm Romanian, oh, I'm Serbian, oh, I'm Grenadian, oh, I'm this. And we all have the exact same struggles going on. But because we differentiate ourselves by nationality, ethnicity, religion, and all of that, and not just, you could have all of that other stuff, but realize that we all are human beings. There's no system that is intrinsically different than the other that makes life better for everybody. There's no such thing. That's where we come in to help each other and make vibe up. You understand what I mean? Have a common ground as to what the vibe is that's going on around us. I don't know, naive, but this is why I react to Romania, Serbia, and all these other places, Ireland. We're not that different. We have the same struggles. We have to start saying, well, they do this and they do that, and next thing you know, we're fighting against each other for the same thing. And that's all I have to say about that. I mean, the cost of living is just crazy. Comment in the comment section. Let me know how it is for you. Like she said, and like we already know, different places have different prices. Center of Bucharest may be way more expensive than the outskirts of Bucharest. But then if you live on the outskirts, then transportation. So then, is it viable to do something like that, because we all know gas prices are skyrocketing, energy is just crazy expensive right now. So, is it better to stay in the city and pay the exuberant rent? Or is it cheaper to move out of the city but still have that commute that you have to pay for, unless you have a really good transit system, which is cheap? That would, come on really handy. But if you have to drive in and out to work to the city, my buddy drives at least an hour to work every day. An hour there, an hour back, you know what I mean? And that's just crazy there. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Comment down below, let me know what you think. In the meantime, let's try to keep the love in this place, okay?